regular viewers of this channel know I'm a big fan of 1950s science fiction films, and in fact I just made my way through this wonderful box set from Arrow, Cold War Creatures, which consists of 4 different science fiction films from the 1950s. And when I taught my film class in high school, I did a unit on 1950s science fiction films, sort of to show how it reflected some of the fears and feelings of that era, in America at least. And I used to use The Day the Earth Stood Still. They weren't that crazy about this one, though I think it's a great film. I think maybe it's a little too cerebral for them or something. But they like this one a lot better, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And my hunch is because it taps into fear of abandonment that I think people have. It's sort of a primal fear people have. And also that whole feeling of, what if your parents are not your parents? Or what if your friends are not your friends? They look and act like them, but they're really not them. So I think they like this one a little bit better. But all this brings us to today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, one of the first British science fiction films from the 1950s. But how does it compare to the classics of that genre? Let's check it out. Today's film is Devil Girl from Mars from 1954. It's a brisk 77 minutes long in beautiful black and white. This takes place during a wintry evening in an isolated Scottish inn. And there's a visitor from Mars who appears, traps all the residents of the inn, and explains her plot to bring back some Earthmen to Mars to repopulate her planet. So let's get right to it. What's the alien like? What are the special effects like? Well, first of all, the people at the inn are like stereotypical, very stock characters, very thin characters. A little bit of overacting too. So we have a professor and we have a reporter. We have a model who's kind of lost her way. We have a waitress, the innkeeper, and her husband. And 2 romantic melodramatic subplots complete with sappy music show up as well. But the film really comes alive when the alien Naya shows up. Now she's dressed all in black from head to toe, literally. Looks like black leather. She's got a black leather cap on, and she has black leather cape and a black leather mini skirt with knee-high black leather boots and dark stockings. Many people have said she looks like a dominatrix, which at first I thought, well, is that just because of her clothes? But when you think about it, yeah, it's all because of not just her clothes, but her attitude, because she's always saying how superior she is, how these Earth people are so pitiful and inferior to her. Plus, back on Mars, they had a war of the sexes. The men lost, the women conquered them, but now they have a problem. They need to repopulate the planet, so she's on her way to London to take some men back to Mars to repopulate the planet. I do want to mention that the alien, Naya, is played by Patricia Laffin. I'm not familiar with her, but she does such a fantastic job in this film. She's totally commanding. She takes this very seriously. Her line readings are excellent. And I think her best known film is probably Quo Vadis from 1951. Now, as far as the special effects go, the flying saucer actually, I think, looks good, especially when it's flying. When it's sitting on the ground, it's obviously a miniature in some scenes, probably when it's flying too, but it actually has movement, it has lights moving on it. When I was a kid, I was a little obsessed with flying saucers, reading about them and drawing them. So there's some art cards included here, and I'll show you the flying saucer looks like a little bit. There's a robot also that's a sort of her enforcer, and that one is pretty ridiculous. It's not intimidating whatsoever, even though it's supposed to be, and it's rather boxy looking. Looks almost like a refrigerator box that somebody used to make a robot with. It has 2 arms, they're just kind of dangling there, and they don't move at all. They just kind of dangle around, and it shoots a beam of light from its head that destroys what are obviously little miniature trucks and a miniature barn. The cover art, I think, is fantastic. I love this cover art. I love the design. I love the colors. I love all the cover art and book and magazine art from this era. but it's also misleading, like so many of these posters of this era are. For example, there's 3 flying saucers in here. There's only 1 in the film. And the robot, as you can see down here, it looks much, much, much better here than it does in the film, which I think you can see him, yeah, right there. So you can see him there. And the other things is Devil Girl from Mars, she's not a devil, and she's not a girl, she's a woman, so a little misleading, but that's okay. That's all part of the fun. It's difficult to watch this and not think about the day the Earth stood still, because the spaceship opens in a similar way. There's this giant robot that's supposed to be the enforcer. Even the way it shoots its beams out from its head is similar to the day the Earth stood still. But that film is far, far superior. For me, that's a 5-star film. That's a classic. That's a far superior film in production quality, production values, script, ideas, themes, in every level. Now, I want to talk about the disc quality here. The picture is cropped, so you're going to get a square picture on this one, but the quality is excellent. I was really impressed with how good this film looks. 1954, black and white, no specks or scratches, maybe a little bit at one part at the end. That's about it, though. Now, the audio is another issue. People were online complaining that the dialogue is out of sync with how the actors' mouths are moving, and some other people said they had no problems with their disc, but I did notice it, especially in the beginning of the film. It looks like you're watching something that's dubbed, where the audio is not matching how their mouth moves. It seemed to improve later on. Either that, or I just kind of got used to it, or I just wanted to ignore it. I'm not sure what. And I'm using the TV speakers. I'm not using a receiver or a sound bar. I know sometimes there can be a lag when you use other equipment like that. I'm just using the TV speakers. And so just be aware that there's an audio issue for some people with this. And right before I started filming this, I looked online, and sure enough, they are offering a replacement disc for this film. My rating for Devil Girl from Mars, I'm going to give this one 3.5, not 3.5 devils, not 3.5 flying saucers, 3.5 glasses of scotch out of 5. Why is that? 2 of the characters, the professor and the reporter, all they want to do is drink scotch all the time, which I guess you're in Scotland. That's definitely what I would be doing. It's an above average 50s science fiction film. It lacks some of that Cold War commentary and some of that Cold War subtext to it, but it's still a lot of fun, mainly because Naya, she makes it worthwhile. For some reason also on the cover, she's not wearing her mini skirt. I don't know why they made that change for the cover, but in the film she definitely is. I definitely noticed that. So what's on this disc? This is a Studio Canal disc. It's the first Studio Canal disc I believe I ever bought. It is Region B, so be aware of that. There's an audio commentary, which I did not listen to. There's an interview with novelist and critic Kim Newman, who's in a lot of these things. He's always really informative, very good, 18 minutes long. There's some stills, and there's some art cards. Let me show you those. They're kind of chintzy. I think they're black and white, but I guess the film's in black and white too, so it doesn't matter. There's the flying saucer in all its glory. And there is Naya taking the professor onto her spaceship, but that's all we see for the inside of the spaceship. So I was hoping we could see a little bit more, but that's really all we see as you walk in. That's about it. And there's Naya in the inn talking to 2 of the characters. And there she is talking to one of the other characters and little boy. I'm not even sure who the little boy belongs to, but he shows up too. So that's it for, I think it's a bit overpriced at $24.99. I think if they added a booklet, that would have been more reasonable. Is it still available? That's a good question, because I first tried to find it when I first learned about it. 2 of the vendors that I usually use sold out. But they said they were getting more in. So I kept checking back, and they finally got some more in. I grabbed one. I looked yesterday. They're both sold out again. So there might be a wait list if you want to get that. But if you just want to watch it, you can rent it on Amazon for 99 cents. And it looks like it's on YouTube for free as well. So that's where you can see it. Feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. What's your favorite 1950s style science fiction film? There's plenty of them out there. I only mentioned 2 of them, really. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Let me give my spiel about subscribing, which I haven't done in a while. I have no Patreon. I don't get any of this stuff for free. I don't have an eBay store. I'm not on Twitch. I'm not looking to make any money off this. If you watch some of my videos now that I've reached over 1,200 subscribers, I think people have told me some commercials, ads are showing up before my videos. I have nothing to do with that. I don't get any money from that at all. So anyways, I'm just doing this to share my love of this with you out there in the virtual darkness. We're all subscribing is free, and we're also on Letterboxd app. That's where we leave brief written reviews of other things we're watching. We're under the Kazdoy closet. There's a link down below in the notes to click onto that. And most recently, we watched Thanksgiving and Blackberry. So check those out if you like. Otherwise, hope you like this one. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.